God's name?
You know, for someone who only started playing these Resident Evil games a year ago, Resident Evil 2 is by far my third favorite, and Resident Evil 2 wasn't even my first Resident Evil game. It was the first game I've ever seen, but my first game was Village, and even though that game will always have a special place in my heart, Resident Evil 2 is truly a grand diamond worthy of a game. It's not a masterpiece like Biohazard in my opinion, but it's in my top 3. From the way that cheeseburger is looking, I'm surprised the heart attack didn't kill him before the zombie did. No explanation is given for why a zombie's out here in the middle of nowhere. Also, the zombie that got hit by the truck doesn't even look like she was hit at all.
Are you okay?
Yes, Claire, he just has a bite mark on his neck and is bleeding all over the place. He's fine.
Hey! What the hell?
See, Claire, what did I tell you? He was so hurt that he was able to get up and lock the door on you for no reason. Why is it that during gameplay, it takes a few shots to the head for a zombie to go down, but in this cutscene, Leon just shoots the zombie in the head once and it goes down?
I don't know. Hopefully they'll have some answers at the police station.
Wait, you're a cop?
Not gonna lie, this line kinda sounds dumb if you have the alternative outfit selected for Leon. No, Claire, he's not a cop. He's just auditioning to be a male stripper. The explosion sent Claire flying and slammed her back into a car. She would not be getting up after that. When Carlos and Tyrell arrived at the RPD in Resident Evil 3, the main gate was locked, but for some reason when Claire arrives at the RPD, the main gate is unlocked. And that part of Resident Evil 3 took place before Resident Evil 2. Also, isn't this the same boarded up doorway that Carlos and Tyrell broke through to get to the entrance of the RPD? Why is it still intact in Resident Evil 2? Now, I know this game came out first, but it's still a plot hole in the game's universe. Sitting in the first game, then going back to replay RE2 made me realize something. The Raccoon City Police Department is pretty much just a Spencer Mansion from the first game all over again.
David! Marvin! You there? I found a way out!
Both the main gate as well as the front door entrance were unlocked when Claire got here. She just walked right in, meaning you guys aren't exactly trapped in this police station and could have left at any time rather than trying to unnecessarily escape through the parking garage.
Who turns a museum into a police station?
Claire, do you want a job at Video Game Sins? Because you would make for an excellent co-writer. Here's what's weird about the front entrance. In the first run, you're able to just walk right in. In the second run, the front entrance is barricaded even though it was never like that in the first run. And whoever barricaded the front entrance did so for no reason because Claire had already locked the main gate. Claire's crawling over a pool of blood on the floor, and none of that will get on her jacket.
Watch out!
Where the hell was Marvin at this entire time? When I was scouting the place earlier, he was nowhere to be found. He even pulled the same disappearance trick in Resident Evil 3 after getting bitten. Arthur the Magician has some competition.
Hey, keep that on. Just in case.
Where the hell did Claire get a radio from? I did not see her take the radio from the cop that died earlier. The only thing she took from him was the notebook he had. Also, the radio that Claire has is entirely useless. She'll only use it to talk to Marvin once and never again. Makes me wonder why she even has it. Also, now that I've established that Claire gets a radio in the first run, Leon will later find his police uniform in the locker with a radio with it, and neither of them will use it to contact each other. If you play as Leon in the first run and Claire in the second, it does make sense why they can't contact each other because Claire doesn't have a radio if you play as her in the second run. However, if you played these runs in the same order that I played them, as I literally just established, they both have radios. And they even made it a big deal if you play as Claire in the first run by having Marvin tell Claire to keep the radio on just in case. Did you really need to use a combat knife to cut open tape when you could have easily just ripped it off? We will never find out how the hole in the wall on the third floor came to be, and it was never explained in Resident Evil 3. Before any of you try to say in the comments, no, the hole in the wall on the third floor was not caused by Carlos detonating the explosives in the men's locker room. There's no way a detonation from a floor down would make that kind of hole in the wall.
Oh my god, he made it!
You know him?
Yeah, it's Leon. Kennedy, I think?
See, here's what's weird about this. In the first run, the person you play as in the second run would just stand there in front of the gate at the fire escape for no reason before the helicopter crash. When you play as that person in the second run, they don't actually arrive at the fire escape until after the helicopter crash. Also, speaking of the helicopter crash, story-wise, why is there just a random helicopter crash with no explanation? The second run literally starts right before the helicopter crash, which is over an hour into the first run. Where did these little chains around the door come from? They were not present when Carlos came through here in RE3. Bro stares at a police uniform in the locker and puts that shit on for no reason during a zombie outbreak. If you play as Leon in the first run after he gets saved by Marvin, there's just a cut to black transition where he's just wearing his police uniform with no explanation where he got it. They didn't mail it to him because if they did, then what would be the point of having Leon find and wear his police uniform in the locker in the second run if he already has it? The RPD used to be a museum. What type of museum has an underground tunnel under a giant statue where you need to find 3 different metals to unlock it?
I can't just leave you here.
Claire, please, go.
After Claire leaves Marvin to die, she'll later be able to backtrack to the main hall of the RPD and kill Marvin as a zombie. See, here's the problem with that. In the second run, when Leon gets to the main hall, he'll also be able to kill Marvin as a zombie even if he had already done so as Claire. How does that even make sense?
Hey. It's okay. Won't hurt you, I promise.
How the hell did Sherry even get down here before Claire? That should literally be impossible because Claire had to use 3 mils to even get down here. And the other doors were locked from the outside, so Sherry clearly didn't go through those doors.
Don't listen to him, he's full of shit.
Claire does not suffer any brain damage from that. How the hell did Sherry drop the pendant when it was around her neck? Mr. X. I'm not gonna lie, next to Jack Baker from Biohazard, Mr. X has to be my all-time favorite stalker enemy. Everything about him is just perfect. Everything. From the way he's built, to the amount of damage he takes when he hits you, the way he walks like he's a giant hulking version of Michael Myers, the giant black trench coat with a top hat that you're able to shoot off, and the loud heavy footsteps which makes you worry at first but your anxiety kicks in the second you hear his chase music. He's an aggressive hulking pillar of strength that can bust through walls at any moment. You are able to stun him, making you feel like you're not completely hopeless against the tyrant, but at the same time, the game does make sure you don't feel too powerful against it neither. And during gameplay, there's that feeling of relief you get when you finally lose the tyrant. Why would this letter about Claire contacting Chris be locked up in an armory in the STARS office? In the first run, when you get to the STARS office as Claire and get inside the armory, you'll find an MQ-11. Later in the second run, when you get inside the armory as Leon, you'll find a Lightning Hulk. Who put the Lightning Hulk inside the armory? It was not present when Claire came through here earlier. Say hello to what is undoubtedly the worst puzzle throughout the game. While playing as Claire, you have to solve this puzzle to unlock the secret room. While playing as Leon, you have to solve this exact same puzzle to unlock Ben's cell. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but fuck this puzzle.
Hello?
Good to see you again, Claire. We've got unfinished business.
Here's something I've always wondered. How does Chief Irons know that Claire had the pendant? He never saw Sherry drop it, and Sherry didn't even realize she had dropped it. And he couldn't have seen Claire with it on the video camera unless she had it out the whole time, which she didn't. Also, how would Chief Irons know that Claire would be smart enough to solve that godforsaken fuse box puzzle to get into his secret room?
Where's that?
In the neighborhood. You'll find it.
Yo, Chief Irons, fucking moron. How do you expect Claire, someone who's from out of town, to know where that is? If you want Sherry's pendant so bad, then give her directions to the orphanage. Claire already dealt with Birkin in the first run, so why does Leon have to fight him in the second? Not only does Leon survive this, but that grating that Birkin pushed Leon through should have already been broken. Back in the first run when Claire had already dealt with Birkin, that same grating also broke.
Hey! I'm not done talking to you!
And just like that, Ada disappears within a matter of seconds. Ada went to the cell area before Leon. How did Leon get to Ben before Ada?
I'm sure he had a good reason.
He did. I was about to blow the whistle on his dirty ass.
I told you to get out of here. You wouldn't want to end up like Ben, would you?
How do you expect Leon to get out of the parking garage without a key card? Why is this door all of a sudden locked in the second run? Claire was able to go through here earlier in the first run. I get why Capcom did this gameplay wise, and I guess you could say that the reason the cell area was locked when Claire got here was because Ada unlocked it. Although it still makes no sense for the door that Claire went through to just lock itself when Leon gets here in the second run.
Stupid kid. If you just hadn't dropped that fucking thing, I could let you go.
Why didn't you just take the damn pendant back in the parking garage? You had both Claire and Sherry held at gunpoint, and as long as you kept threatening Claire's life, Sherry would have done anything you asked. Hell, if you were able to get her to tie up Claire by threatening Claire's life, then I assume you would have been able to do the same to get Sherry to give her the pendant. Playing as Sherry. Hey viewer, remember when I sent the fuse box puzzle for being the worst puzzle in the game? Well, meet the second. After solving that stupid box puzzle, a drawer unlocks with a pair of scissors. Sherry will use a pair of scissors to cut open tape around the cardboard box that leads into another room. Here's a problem with this. The tape around the cardboard looks easier to rip off than the one around the fuse box at the RPD that Claire had to use a combat knife to cut open. How does Chief Irons expect Claire to give him the pendant when the front door to the orphanage is chained up from the outside? Also, how did Chief Irons put chains around the door from the outside if he's inside?
I'm coming in, Sherry!
Aside from the obvious Shining reference, where the hell did Chief Irons get a fire axe from? If a dog takes that big of a chunk out of your neck, you are dead or you'd be bleeding out to death. Remember when Sherry tried to escape through the front entrance but there were chains around the door? How is it that when Claire arrives at the orphanage, the chains are no longer there?
Your fault!
What?
Took too long!
Well, dumbass, maybe if you had given her directions to the orphanage, she would have been here sooner. I'm not gonna lie, even to this day, Birkin ripping Mr. X in half is still pretty awesome. But unfortunately, we're going to have to add that sin back because despite how awesome it is to see Birkin rip Mr. X in half, it also creates a plot hole. If Mr. X gets ripped in half by Birkin and Claire's campaign, then how is it that Mr. X will continue to chase Leon throughout his campaign? And I'm not diving into fan theories for these sin videos. Somehow, Claire and Sherry survive this. This game's sewer section.
Sherry's been implanted. She can't be saved. Wait! I can treat her.
You just said a moment ago that Sherry can't be saved. Now you're telling Claire that she can be saved if she takes her to the nest to get treated.
Road's out.
No shit, Ada. If you played these runs in the same order that I played them, then you would know that in the first run while playing as Claire, the door to the alleyway is knocked down by a few zombies. But for some reason, in the second run when Leon and Ada get here, the door to the alleyway is still intact like it was never knocked down at all. Where do people keep finding pens and papers to write these notes? I don't recall seeing Jill write a note to Kendo in RE3.
You're a cop. You're supposed to know something. How did this happen?
If you knew that Leon was a cop, then why'd you point a shotgun at him when he walked in here?
Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch.
Scary as that alligator was, Annette is far more dangerous.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Annette is a human being, not a biohazard monster, meaning Annette is not more dangerous than the giant alligator that Leon just ran from. How the hell did Annette set that corpse on fire without pouring gasoline over it? Annette must really suck at shooting if she misses Ada with those first couple shots. Excuse me? Ada had a hacking tool this whole time? If that's the case, then why didn't you use the hacking tool to hack the gate for the parking garage? This was something that annoyed me even back when I first in this game. Ada ends up in the exact same room that Sherry was in the first run, and Claire had already been down here to find all the chess pieces, put them in the right slots, get the door open, fight Birkin, and then finally get into the room that Sherry was in. So tell me, when Leon gets here in the second run, does it make any sense to have Leon redo all the stuff that Claire already did in the first run? I do not remember seeing Claire ever write this note while playing as her. Also, how the hell would Claire know that Leon will also end up down here? Did she just assume that some random guy who saved her life at the gas station, whom she also rode in the town with, who was last seen in the courtyard, the fire escape of the RPD, would also end up in the sewers? And not even just that, but specifically this part of the sewers? When Claire got to this area in the first run, she equipped the stun gun. When Leon gets to this area in the second run, he equips a chemical flamethrower. Who put the flamethrower there at the click of the stun gun? Maybe I'm being too nitpicky, but when Claire gets to the nest in the first run, she puts Sherry down in the bed, then runs off to find her a sample of the antiviral agent. Later when Leon gets here in the second run and goes to the exact same room, Sherry's just not there. Having Claire and Leon get their senior staff wristbands in the exact same way at the exact same place in both runs makes this about as much sense as a school thought claim to have reclaimed her virginity after fucking a guy who has an STD. How the hell did Mr. X even get to the nest? The last time he was seen was either when he was getting ripped apart by Birkin or chasing Ada through the sewers. And the only way to get to the nest is through the cable car that both Leon and Claire took to get here.
Look at that.
I'm sorry, what? So you're telling me the key to opening the thing that has both the G virus and the antiviral agent is Sherry's pendant? Back in the cable car, Sherry told Claire that Annette gave her that pendant for her birthday. Why the hell would you give your own daughter an object that would most likely put her in danger had anyone found out about the existence of the G virus, where it's located, and the object you would need to get a sample of it? Hell, come to think of it, it already has put her in danger. Remember when Chief Irons kidnapped Sherry for her pendant? When Claire gets here, she has to use Sherry's pendant to unlock the thing that has a sample of both the G-Virus and the antiviral agent. When Leon gets here, it's already open. This makes sense if we play Claire and Leon's campaign in the same order that I played them. However, the problem here is that it still plays out like this even if you play through Leon's campaign in the first run and Claire in the second. This makes it very out of order for people who decide to play the game in that order. Instead of pointing a gun at him, why not just give or inject William with a sample of the antiviral agent that's literally right behind you? In this shot, the thing that has the antiviral agent in it even looks like it's open. If that's the case, then how was William able to open it without Sherry's pendant? And better yet, why was it locked when Claire got here if it was already open? The first part of this flashback when William injects himself with the G-Virus after getting shot up by Hunk and his team will only occur in Leon's campaign, and the second part of that same flashback will occur in Claire's campaign. For some reason, it will always play out like that regardless of which order you play Claire and Leon's campaign, which in my case is very out of order considering the fact that I played through Claire's campaign first.
You don't know what you're up against.
Trust me. This ends now.
Claire Redfield is a goddamn beast, and I love her. I'm certain that a big jump like that will result in Leon's legs getting shattered.
She's a mercenary. She's gonna sell it. G-Virus is gonna go to the highest bidder.
Bullshit.
Don't get me wrong, I love Leon Kennedy as a character based off this game alone, but I find it odd that he actually believed that Ada was an FBI agent sent by the FBI to take down an entire pharmaceutical company on her own without finding any holes in that story.
As I realized, as much as I wanted to trust you, I didn't.
What are you talking about, Leon? That's not true and you know it. After you grabbed the G sample, you said this.
All right, Now back to Ada.
And after you fought Birkin, checked up on Injured Annette, said Injured Annette tells you that Ada was simply lying about being FBI and that she's really a mercenary here to take the G sample to sell to the highest bidder, you said this.
Bullshit.
So yes, Leon, you very well did trust her up until this point. Nice try, you blonde-headed white boy.
Look, I'm just doing my job.
And I'm doing mine, so drop that damn gun! I'm taking you in.
What do you mean you're taking her in? Taking her in where? Yes, Ada, I'm taking you into the rundown RPD that's pretty much gone at this point. Annette shoots Ada in the shoulder rather than headshotting her. She really does suck at shooting. Who the hell keeps a minigun in the train office? Mr. X is still hunting Leon even at this point in the game. Why is he so fixated on him anyway? I'm not gonna lie though, Mr. X's boss design is awesome, and this music is easily the best boss fight music I've heard in any video game. There is no way Ada was able to see Leon from this height, and besides, where'd she get a rocket launcher from to kick it down to Leon? This is just the F1 boss fight from Resident Evil Biohazard. Joke's on him, he's driving into a zombie/biohazard infested city that will be surely nuked a few hours later. Walking off into the sunrise cliche. This is the first time in video game since history that I get to end one of these videos off on a positive note. In my opinion, this music is perfect for the end credits of this game.